Hey everyone, Ian Stewart here from Flowtown Mastering. In this video, we're taking a look at some of the workflow and productivity improvements in WaveLab Pro 13. The kinds of features that can genuinely transform how efficiently you work, especially if you're doing a lot of STEM mastering, QC work, or just managing complex projects. Let's dive in. First up is Tab Synchro Playback, and this one is a game changer for comparing different versions of your audio. WaveLab's multi-tab interface has always been powerful, but now you can switch between tabs while maintaining the exact same playback position. So if you're playing back a 7.1.4 immersive file and you switch to a stereo tab, playback continues seamlessly from the same point in the timeline. You'll find the tab synchro playback control in the transport zone, right next to the standard transport buttons. When it's active, it's highlighted in yellow. This works across audio editors of different channel configurations and audio montages, and is great for comparing different project versions, so you can open your Atmos master and stereo re-renders and flip between them instantly to hear how they translate. Another great use case. During QC, if you've noticed a flaw in a production master, you can flip to the original mix in another tab and quickly A/B to hear whether it was present in the source or introduced during the mastering. For quick comparisons, F5 toggles between the last two active tabs, whether or not they are adjacent or even in the same tab or file group. A few little tips: avoid using high latency master section plugins during these comparisons, as they can introduce some small hiccups, and for the smoothest transitions, ensure a shared sample rate across all comparisons. There's also an advanced mode called Synchronized Tab Playback by Name Matching, which continues playback based on clip names rather than timeline positions. To enable this, right-click on the Tab Synchro Playback button and select one of the matching options: Exact, Starts With, Ends With, or Contains. This is great for comparing a song that's in sequence mid-montage with an individual mix or mastered file in another tab. Next, let's talk about sidechain support. WaveLab Pro 13 now supports sidechain input for plugins in the audio montage, and this is especially powerful for mastered stems, not uncommon for DJ or live playback delivery. Here's the scenario. You've got individual stems, drums, bass, synths, vocals, etc., each on their own track. You want to apply limiting to each stem individually, but you want the dynamics processing to respond to the full mix. That's exactly what sidechain support enables here. To set this up, insert a sidechain-capable VST3 plugin on a track via the Track Inspector. Then, in the plugin window toolbar, click the sidechain button and select the track you want to use as the sidechain input. The sidechain receives its signal from clips post-clip effects, but before the clip's post-gain setting. You can control the sidechain send level per clip using a dedicated send gain control, accessible from the clip list or by clicking the icon in the bottom right corner of the clip, and you can deactivate a clip's sidechain send if needed. If you don't want your sidechain trigger track to even be audible, you can change its output routing to none, and it truly becomes a ghost trigger track. There's also intra-track sidechaining, which allows a track insert plugin to receive sidechain input from clips on the same track. This lets you use a single compressor as a track effect and control the amount of compression per clip using individual sidechain send levels, essentially an alternative to automating the threshold. WaveLab 13 includes a number of sidechain-capable plugins out of the box, including Frequency, Squasher, Compressor, Expander, Gate, VoxComp, Black Valve, and Multiband Compressor, among others. Now, let's switch gears and talk about color rules, a new system for automatically assigning colors to clips and tracks based on defined parameters. If you're working with stems or a large Atmos session, you know how quickly things can become visually overwhelming. Color rules let you set up conditions so that any clip whose name contains vocals, for example, automatically gets colored yellow, or any track containing drums gets colored red. You'll find the color rules set up under File, Preferences, Audio Montages, Color Rules. Each rule has four components: an on-off switch, a color selection from the expanded 128 color palette, a condition type, and any required parameters. The conditions are flexible. You can color based on clip or track names, whether a clip has effects, the track type or routing, the montage's sample rate, and more. For stem mastering, this is a huge time saver. Set up your rules once. Drums are red, bass is purple, vocals are yellow, and your stems are automatically color-coded as soon as you import them. There's a priority system where rules higher in the list take precedence, so you can have general rules with specific overrides. And if you need to start fresh, there's a Reset All Colors option in the View ribbon that resets everything and reapplies any active color rules. Along similar lines, WaveLab 13 introduces a redesigned envelope ribbon tab with several powerful features that tie in beautifully with stem mastering workflows. The headline feature is Clone. When activated, changes made to the active envelope are duplicated across all selected clips. So if you're working with stems that all need the same envelope adjustments to bump up a chorus, make the change once and it applies to all of them. There's also a new relative mode, toggled directly in the ribbon. This applies changes relatively across selected clips. So if you increase an envelope by 1 dB, all selected clips get the same relative gain change regardless of their original levels. Other new options include fine control for precise adjustments, plus time lock and level lock to restrict movement to level or time changes only, also accessible via keyboard overrides. Another workflow enhancer is the new fade cloning option, which is enabled by default. When you modify a fade on a clip that belongs to a set of siblings, clips sharing the exact same start time and length, the same fade is automatically applied to all sibling clips, no selection required. This is ideal for stem mastering and Atmos montages where you need global fade adjustments across multiple channels, or situations where you have dual captures, perhaps with and without hardware limiting, but you want to apply the same fades or envelope adjustments to both files. And, so you're aware, clips on reference tracks are ignored by design. Last but not least, let's talk about multicore rendering in the audio montage. If you've ever rendered an album with dozens of titles or a stem mastering project with hundreds of individual files, you know how long sequential renders can take. WaveLab Pro 13 changes that with parallel batch rendering. Rendering in the audio montage now makes full use of multicore processing for titles, regions, and clips. No more sequential bottlenecks. WaveLab unleashes the full power of your CPU for much faster rendering jobs. In the render dialog, you can select which items to render using checkboxes, so you can re-render just a few titles without processing the entire album. There's also auto start to begin rendering when the dialog opens, and auto close on success to close the dialog automatically when everything is done. Plus an override if you've previously selected auto start but need to change settings. During the render, you'll see individual progress bars for each item in the progress column, so you can track exactly how things are moving along. For those of you rendering pretty much anything but singles, this is a massive time saver. So those are some of the key workflow and productivity improvements in WaveLab Pro 13. From tab synchro playback for instant A/B comparisons, to sidechain support for sophisticated mastered stems, to color rules and envelope cloning for managing complex sessions, and multi-core rendering for dramatically faster output. There's a lot here that can genuinely speed up your day-to-day work. If this was helpful, we'd love it if you gave the video a like, and be sure to subscribe and check out the WaveLab channel for our other WaveLab 13 videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.